You made it this far, but don't celebrate yet. Consistency isn't something you master, it's something you become. This isn't the end of the battle. This is where the real war begins. If part one lit the spark, part two is the inferno that will burn every weakness inside you. Are you ready then? Let's finish what we started. And if you think the war is over because you stayed consistent for a season, you're wrong. This isn't a battle you win once. This is a war you fight every single day for the rest of your life. Consistency is not an achievement. It's a lifestyle. The moment you stop, the moment you relax, the moment you think you've made it, that's the moment mediocrity creeps back in like a thief in the night. You think greatness cares about your feelings? You think success is going to knock on your door and say, it's okay, take a break? No. Success is a savage. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care that you're tired. It doesn't care that you've done enough. It only cares about one thing. Are you still moving forward? Are you still stacking bricks when everyone else is asleep? And I need you to understand this truth. The world will forgive your failures, but it will never forgive your They will give second chances to those who fell, but got back up. But they will never respect the man who starts and quits, starts and quits, starts and quits. That man is a ghost, alive but never living. You want respect? You want power? You want to walk into a room and feel the weight of your own name? Then earn it in the dark. Earn it on the days you hate the process. Earn it when nothing is happening. Earn it when everyone else is chasing pleasure and you're chasing purpose. That's the tax you pay for greatness, and the currency is consistency. People will tell you to enjoy the journey, and that's true, but don't confuse enjoyment with ease. The journey will break you. It will tear you apart. It'll make you question why you started. And every time that question hits you, you answer it with action. You answer it by doing the thing you said you would do, again and again and again. Because success doesn't come to those who want it. It comes to those who refuse to live without it. I know you've heard the phrase, strike while the iron is hot, but let me tell you something. If the iron isn't hot, strike it anyway. Strike until the heat comes, strike until the spark catches, strike until the fire burns. Because the blacksmith doesn't wait for perfect conditions, he creates them with his hammer. And that's what you are, a blacksmith forging a destiny out of raw steel, one relentless strike at a time. And listen to me carefully. Every strike matters, every rep matters, every line matters. You think nobody notices, but the universe notices. It's keeping score. It's watching how you move when nobody's clapping. It's testing your faith, your patience, your hunger. Because if you can stay consistent in the silence, you'll own the noise when it comes. And the noise will come, the applause will come, the recognition will come. But when it does, I want you to remember this. Don't you dare stop. Don't you dare slow down. Don't you dare think, I've arrived. Arrival is death. Arrival is the graveyard of growth. The moment you think you're done is the moment you start dying. Stay a student. Stay humble. Stay consistent. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Consistency is not just the bridge to success, it's the fortress that protects it. You can fight your way to the top, but if you stop being consistent, gravity will pull you back down faster than you climbed. Look at the fallen giants, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. They had the crown, and then they lost it. Not because they weren't talented, not because they weren't smart, but because they got comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of kings. So build your fortress, brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. And never stop building, because as long as you breathe, the war is on. You have to make peace with the truth that no one is coming to save you. No mentor, no friend, no magical opportunity is going to hand you the life you want. It's on you. Every morning, every decision, every act of discipline, it's on you. And if that scares you, good. Let it scare you, because fear is a signal that you're standing at the edge of transformation. Do you want to know why most people live average lives? It's not because they lack talent. It's because they lack endurance. They get excited, they sprint for a few weeks, and then they collapse. And when they collapse, they don't get back up. You see, life doesn't reward the sprinter. Life rewards the marathoner, the one who understands that this isn't a quick race. This is an ultra marathon that lasts your entire lifetime. But here's the paradox: the longer you run, the easier it gets. Not because the path changes, but because you do. Every step hardens you. Every mile shapes you. Every setback carves something unbreakable inside of you. And that's what consistency really is. It's the sculptor of character, the artist of destiny, the fire that melts weakness and forges strength. And you will need that strength, because storms are coming. Make no mistake about it. There will be days when life feels cruel, when nothing works, when everything you've built starts to crumble. And in those moments when everything in you screams to quit, you'll fall back on one thing: habit. The muscle of consistency you've built, that muscle will move you when motivation dies. That muscle will carry you when your mind is too tired to fight. That muscle will save you when everything else is gone. So don't tell me you want it. Show me. Show me when you're tired. Show me when you're broke. Show me when the world ignores you. Because that's when it counts. Anybody can work when it's fun. Anybody can grind when the checks are coming in and the cameras are rolling. But when it's silent, when it's lonely, when it's hard, that's when the champions rise. And listen closely. The enemy isn't failure. Failure is a teacher. Failure gives feedback. Failure sharpens your edge. The real enemy is comfort. Comfort will seduce you. Comfort will whisper, "You've done enough. You deserve a break." And if you listen, if you give in, if you start negotiating with your future for the cheap thrill of now, you lose. Not tomorrow, not next year. You lose right there in that moment. Because the second you break the chain of consistency, you give mediocrity a door back into your life. So slam the door, lock it, throw away the key, and if comfort starts knocking, let discipline answer. Because discipline doesn't argue. Discipline doesn't explain. Discipline just acts. And let me tell you something that will set you free. Success is not about intensity. It's about identity. You can't just do consistent things. You have to become a consistent person. This isn't about habits you try. It's about a standard you live by, a non-negotiable code, a line in the sand that says, "This is who I am now. I don't miss. I don't quit. I don't break promises to myself." When you become that person, everything changes. Opportunities chase you. People respect you. The world moves out of your way because it recognizes a force that cannot be broken. And that force is you, not because you're the smartest, not because you're the strongest, but because you're the one who stayed, the one who endured, the one who kept striking the iron long after everyone else dropped the hammer. You want the truth? Here it is. Your dream doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care that you're tired, broke, stressed, or scared. It only cares about one thing. Did you show up today and tomorrow and the day after that? Because that's the only language success understands: consistency. And if that sounds boring to you, then you're not ready, because consistency is boring. It's repetitive. It's unglamorous. It's doing the same small things over and over and over until the world can't ignore you anymore. And if you can't fall in love with boring, you'll never touch extraordinary. So make your choice. The life you want is on the other side of monotony. The life you dream of is on the other side of discipline. And the only way through is to keep walking. You've got to stop romanticizing the destination. Stop fantasizing about the applause, the recognition, the perfect moment when everything falls into place. Because that moment doesn't exist, not the way you think it does. The mountaintop is not a place where you relax. It's a place where the air is thin, where the storms are stronger, where the climb never ends. The higher you go, the harder it gets. That's why consistency isn't just the path to success. It statters the armor you'll need when you get there. Most people think success is a peak you reach, but success is a cliff edge you walk every day. One slip, one lapse, one moment of weakness, and you fall. That's why the greatest fear of every champion isn't losing to someone else, it's losing to themselves, to complacency, to arrogance, to the lie that they've done enough. You want to know the greatest tragedy? It's not the man who never tried, it's the man who almost made it. The one who had it in his hands, and then he let it slip because he couldn't keep doing the work after the applause faded. Don't you dare be that man. Don't you dare let temporary success make you soft. Stay hungry. Stay ruthless. Stay obsessed, because the minute you stop building, the rot begins. The truth is brutal, but I'll tell it to you anyway. Life will not reward your potential. It will not reward your intentions. It will only reward what you do over and over and over again. Potential is nothing without consistency. Talent is nothing without consistency. Dreams are nothing without consistency. You could be the most gifted person on earth, and it means nothing if you can't show up every day and do the boring work. You think Kobe became Kobe because of talent? No. Talent gave him a head start, but consistency kept him in the game when everyone else burned out. When the cameras were off, when the stadium was empty, when his body was screaming for rest, and he still got up before the sun to shoot another 1,000 shots. That's greatness. And it's available to you, not because of your talent, but because of your willingness to be consistent. Let me ask you something. What's your excuse? Time? Money? Energy? Do you think any of the greats had perfect conditions? Do you think Edison waited until he had the best tools? Do you think Oprah waited until everyone believed in her? No, they started with what they had, and they stayed consistent until the world had no choice but to notice. Your excuses are lying to you. They're thieves dressed as friends. They're whispering, you can't do it because you don't have enough. But the truth is, you don't need enough. You need to start. You need to move. You need to do the thing today, tomorrow, and the day after that. That's how empires are built. Not in giant leaps, but in tiny steps taken every single day without fail. And here's something you need to tattoo on your mind. Success doesn't demand perfection. It demands persistence. It demands resilience. It demands that when you fall, you rise faster than you fell. That when you break, you heal stronger than before. That when life hits you with its hardest punch, you look it dead in the eye and whisper, is that all you've got? Because here's the secret. They're not stronger than you. The obstacles, the critics, the doubts, they're not stronger than you. The only thing stronger than you is your own weakness. And weakness dies the moment you stop feeding it with excuses. The moment you stop saying tomorrow and start saying now. The moment you decide that nothing, not fear, not fatigue, not failure, will stop you from being consistent. This is war, a war between the life you want and the life you settle for. A war between your future self and your present comfort, and every day with every choice you're choosing sides. So tell me, who are you fighting for? The man you could become, or the man who will die wondering what could have been? The battlefield isn't out there. It's in here, in your head, in your habits, in the 1,000 tiny decisions that no one sees. And that's why this fight is so hard, because no one will clap for you while you're in it. No one will cheer while you're losing sleep, while you're grinding in silence, while you're walking through hell. But that's the price. The silence, the loneliness, the pain. That's the toll you pay to cross the bridge to greatness. And only the consistent can afford it. Still dead. You have to understand something that most people never grasp. The doctor, pain you feel right now is not a signal to stop. It's a signal that you're growing. The resistance you're facing is the weight of greatness pressing against you, testing you, asking you, are you worthy? Every champion you admire has walked through this fire. And every quitter you've never heard of walked away from it. That's the difference. You think it's supposed to feel easy? You think consistency is supposed to feel natural? No. It's supposed to feel unnatural because you're breaking cycles that have chained you for years. You're fighting habits that were planted in your childhood. You're rewriting the code of your identity. That's not a casual act, that's war. And in war, there are no shortcuts. There is only blood, sweat, tears, and relentless forward motion. Listen to me every time you push through when you don't feel like it. You're not just building habits, you're building a weapon forged in fire. And one day that weapon will cut through every limitation that ever held you back. But only if you keep swinging, only if you keep showing up. The world is full of people waiting for the right time, waiting for the stars to align, waiting for the perfect moment to start. Let me tell you something, the perfect moment doesn't exist. The stars will never align. The timing will never feel right. You either start now or you never start. And if you wait until you feel ready, you'll wait forever. Tell? You say you want the life no one else has, then you must be willing to do what no one else does. And do it long after the excitement dies, because excitement is temporary, but consistency is eternal. Excitement will get you started. Consistency will finish the race. Excitement is a spark. Consistency is the fire that burns through the darkest nights. And let me warn you, there will be nights. Nights when the loneliness hits so hard you can feel it in your bones. Nights when you question everything, your choices, your path, your worth. Nights when quitting looks like freedom and persistence looks like a prison. And in those nights you will hear a voice. A soft voice, a tempting voice saying, just stop. No one would blame you. That voice is the assassin of your destiny. And the only way to kill it is with action. Move. Do the thing. Even when it feels like it's breaking you, especially when it feels like it's breaking you. Because that's when breakthroughs are born, in the breaking. Diamonds are made under pressure. Warriors are made in battle. Legions are made in the dark when no one's watching. So if you're in the dark right now, good. Stay there. Swing your hammer. Build in silence. Because the day will come when the world will see what you've been forging, and they will call it overnight success. But you will know the truth. It wasn't overnight. It was every night, every morning, every boring, painful, thankless day that you refused to skip. And here's the truth. They're not coming. The ones you think will clap for you, celebrate you, push you, they're not coming. Some will doubt you. Some will laugh. Some will cheer at first and then vanish when the grind gets long, and that's okay. Because this path was never about them. It's about you, your standard, your vision, your promise to yourself. You don't need their applause. You need your integrity. You need to be able to look in the mirror and know you kept your word when no one else was watching. And that's what this really is. A promise, a sacred vow between you and your future self. Every day you stay consistent, you're honoring that vow. Every day you quit, you're betraying it. And betrayal always costs more than the pain of discipline. Always. So burn the ships, close the exit doors, delete the plan B, because as long as you have an escape, you will use it. As long as you have a backup, you will lean on it. Force yourself into a corner where the only way out is forward. That's how warriors are made. That's how champions are born, not with options, but with obsession. And if you think obsession is dangerous, you're right. It's dangerous to mediocrity. It's dangerous to average. It's dangerous to every excuse that ever lived inside you. Obsession kills the old you, the lazy you, the weak you, and that's exactly what needs to die for the new you to rise. Obsession is the birthplace of mastery. Look at every icon in history, every legend you admire. They weren't casual about their craft. They weren't balanced. They weren't dabblers. They were consumed. They ate it, breathed it, dreamed it until the world bowed down to what they built. And that level of dominance only comes through one path: consistency, ruthless, unbreakable, unapologetic consistency. People will call you crazy. Let them. They called every visionary crazy before they called them genius. They mocked Edison until the light turned on. They laughed at the Wright brothers until the sky opened. They doubted Jobs until he put the world in our pockets. They called Walt Disney a fool until magic became an empire. So if people are laughing at you, good. You're in good company, but you know what those men had that their critics didn't? Not luck, not magic, not even talent. They had the discipline to keep moving when the world told them to stop. And you will need that same discipline because the attacks will come, the doubts will come. The voice in your head will get louder. It will say, this is pointless. No one cares. You're wasting your time. And every time it speaks, you silence it with one action. Show up. Do the work. Prove yourself to yourself. Because at the end of the day, the war isn't with the world. It's with the voice inside you that wants comfort more than it wants greatness. You have to kill that voice every day, with every repev, with every step. Because if you let it live, it will destroy you. It will rob you of your dreams. It will chain you to a life of regret. And regret is a prison with no doors, no keys, no exits. Do you want that life? A life where you look back and say, I could have been, I should have been, but I wasn't because I quit. Or do you want to die empty, knowing you gave it all? That's the choice you make every single day with every single act of consistency. Let me tell you something the world doesn't want you to know. Freedom isn't free. Freedom has a price, and that price is discipline. Everyone wants freedom, freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom to live on their own terms, but very few are willing to pay the cost. And the cost is doing what you said you would do when you don't feel like doing it. Every day, for years, until freedom bends its knee to you. And here's the irony, discipline feels like prison at first, but in the end, it's the only path to freedom. Comfort feels like freedom at first, but in the end, it becomes a prison. So choose your chains. Choose your suffering, because you're going to suffer either way. You either suffer the pain of discipline now or the pain of regret later. One weighs ounces. The other weighs tons. You've got to decide how badly you want it. Because if you only kind of want it, forget it. If you want it when it's convenient, forget it. If you want it until it hurts, forget it. The only ones who win are the ones who want it so bad they're willing to bleed for it, sweat for it, cry for it, and keep going anyway. That's what separates the legends from the lost. That's what separates the few from the many. And don't get it twisted. The many aren't your enemy. They're just your reminder of what happens when you settle. Every time you see someone living a life they hate, working a job they despise, dying a slow death in comfort, remember, that's the price of quitting. That's the cost of inconsistency. That's the hell you escape every time you choose discipline over desire. Because one day the roles will reverse. One day the ones who laughed will look at you and wonder how you did it. They'll call you lucky. They'll say you had something they didn't. And you'll smile because you'll know the truth. They had everything you had, the same hours, the same choices, the same chance. They just didn't use it. They quit when it got hard. You didn't. And that single difference changed everything. So here you are at the edge of everything you want. Not tomorrow, not someday now. And the only thing standing between you and that life is consistency. Will you keep going when the excitement fades? Will you keep striking when the hammer feels heavy? Will you keep walking when the road feels endless? Answer those questions with your actions, because talk means nothing. Promises mean nothing. Only consistency means something. So stand up, lock in, burn the bridges behind you, and march forward like your life depends on it, because it does. This is it, the moment of truth. The moment where you decide who you are and what you will become, not tomorrow, not next week, not when life gets easier now, because the truth is life will never get easier, you will get stronger. The weight will not get lighter, you will get sharper. The storms will not disappear, you will learn to walk through them like a god of war. But only if you choose to keep moving. The weak wait for perfect conditions, the strong create them. The weak look for motivation, the strong build systems, the weak hope, the strong act. And in the end, it's not the smartest, it's not the most talented, it's not the most gifted who win. It's the ones who refuse to quit. You have to become relentless, a force so unshakable that even life itself bows down to your persistence. Because life doesn't give you what you wish for, it gives you what you demand. And the only way to demand something from life is through consistency, daily, ruthless, unbreakable consistency. Do you understand what you're capable of? Do you have any idea what's inside you? Power beyond measure, strength beyond imagination, but you will never see it if you keep quitting. You will never feel it if you keep stopping every time it hurts. The pain is the gate. The discomfort is the key. And the price you pay is doing the thing over and over until the chains break and the door opens. One day the sun will rise and you will stand in the life you built with your own 2 hands. A life most people only dream about, a life that was impossible for the old you. And when that day comes, you will know it wasn't luck, it wasn't talent, it wasn't magic. It was you and your discipline, you and your obsession, you and your refusal to stop. And here's the beauty of it. The world will never understand the nights you stayed up grinding, the mornings you woke up when everyone else was sleeping, the sacrifices you made, the temptations you killed, the tears you cried. They will never know. But you will. And that's all that matters. So let them doubt you. Let them laugh. Let them call you obsessed. Because when they see the results, they'll call you legendary. Consistency is not just a habit. It's a weapon that destroys doubt, fear, weakness, and mediocrity. A weapon that builds empires, changes lives, and rewrites history. And that weapon is in your hands right now, but a weapon is useless if you don't swing it. So swing it, strike, move. Show up again and again and again until the gates of success burst open under the weight of your persistence. And when they do, don't stop, don't slow down, don't look back, because the war never ends. Greatness is not a destination, it's a daily fight. And the day you stop swinging is the day you start losing, so fight. Fight like your life depends on it, because it does. Fight for your dreams like they're oxygen, because without them, you're not living. Fight for the man you're destined to become, and never, ever stop. Because the truth is, everything you want, every dream, every goal, every vision, it's all waiting for you on the other side of one simple, brutal, beautiful thing: consistency. So go. Build your life one day at a time, one act of discipline at a time, one victory at a time. And when the world asks you how you did it, smile and say, I never stopped. Now go and never stop. This is the end, but only for today. The war continues tomorrow. You've been given the tools, the fire, the truth. Now use them. Don't just listen, act. Build your habits. Stay consistent, and when the world asks how you did it, tell them this: I never stopped. If you're ready for more, subscribe now, because the journey to greatness doesn't end here. It only gets bigger from here.